All right, today we're going to dive into something really powerful, a mental tool that the absolute best performers use to unlock their A game right when it counts. Yeah, we're talking about mastering your own personal Gladiator Switch.
I mean, really think about that for a second. We've all been there, right? A huge presentation, the final minutes of a game, a conversation you've been dreading. There's almost always a gap between the person we know we can be and the person who actually shows up under pressure. So how do we close that gap? Well, that's what this is all about.
And this leads us right into something we can call the performance paradox. It's the struggle that we all have with trying to be our best, on demand, consistently. You know, our everyday self is great. That's the version of us that answers emails, hangs out with friends, just kind of cruises through the day. But the person we need to be in those high-stakes moments, that's a whole different story. That person is laser-focused, they're decisive, they're in the zone. The problem is, our everyday brain loves to tag along into the arena, and it brings all its baggage with it. The doubts, the distractions, the whole shebang.
So, how in the world do we solve this? How do we tell that everyday self to take a back seat so we can step into our power? The answer? It's all about flipping a mental switch. So let's get into what that actually looks like.
So the solution is to create what's called an alter ego. And look, let's be clear, this isn't about some kind of split personality. It's way more intentional than that. It's a mindset you build on purpose, a version of you that has all the traits you need to just crush it. Think of it like a tool you decide to pick up when you know it's go time.
And this right here, this is the shift we're aiming for. On one side, you've got that everyday mind, distracted, a little hesitant, always overthinking things, cautious. And on the other, that's the performance mind, focused, decisive, instinctive, committed. It's literally a mental upgrade exactly when you need it.
And the coolest part? This isn't just some abstract theory. The absolute best in the world, they've been doing this for years, whether they called it an alter ego or not. And you can't talk about this without mentioning the legend himself, Kobe Bryant. See, on the court, he wasn't just Kobe, he was the Black Mamba. And that wasn't just a cool nickname, right? It was a psychological weapon he used.
So what was the Black Mamba? It was a persona that let him be absolutely relentless, surgical, completely locked in. It was a mode he could flip on that was totally separate from Kobe, the guy who was a husband and a dad. He literally said it was like being a different animal. It let him tap into a level of focus, a ferocity that was just on another level.
So the Black Mamba is an amazing, specific example. But there's another really powerful way to think about this, the gladiator metaphor. It has that same core idea, but maybe with a slightly different vibe. What I love about the gladiator idea is just the pure focus it suggests. All that background noise from your day, what happened yesterday, what you're worried about tomorrow, poof, it's gone. The second you step into that arena, there's only one thing, the mission right in front of you. It's a state of total commitment, ready for anything. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now let's get to the good stuff. How do you actually build one for yourself? This is where the rubber meets the road. And you know what? It's a pretty straightforward process. Step 1, you got to define what your ideal performance state even looks like. Are you calm, aggressive, inspiring? Step 2, give it a name, a symbol, something like the Mamba or the Gladiator. But step 3, this is the real secret sauce. You need to create a physical trigger. This idea of having a physical anchor, it's absolutely crucial. Just think about that image for a second, picking up the dirt, smelling it, and your whole brain just goes, okay, it's go time. And your trigger can be anything. It could be tapping your feet, fixing your watch, taking one specific kind of deep breath, anything that sends a crystal clear signal to your brain. The everyday you is checking out. It's time to perform.
And listen, this isn't some secret handshake for elite athletes or CEOs. This is something we can all tap into. So the big takeaway here is this, that power is already inside you. You already have a gladiator. You have an inner champion just waiting. Your job isn't to invent it. It's just to build that simple little trigger that flips the switch and brings it to life.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. When it all comes down to it, when the pressure's on and the stakes are higher than ever, who do you need to be? Who is your gladiator?
Welcome to Motivational InspiReels. Subscribe and hit the bell icon.